Alright, so to start off with, trigger warning for discussion of sexual assault allegations. I should have included that in my original Twitter post. I apologize for the omission. I'm not used to posting about things of these nature. So, I don't want to make this video. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be responding to your response. But you guys lied a bunch in it. And I have the proof that you lied. And, I mean, maybe if you just lied like that, if you just simply said you didn't know what happened on company property and, that there was no way you could have known and all that kind of stuff, like maybe I wouldn't be making this video. I mean, really, all I wanted out of this was for Doug to just simply stand in front of a camera and say, somebody did get hurt on our property, and we didn't believe them when it was reported. We fired the person who reported knowledge of it to us. We did the wrong thing. We're sorry. We're trying to be a better company. We didn't have a functional HR department at the time. These things are true, but we're trying to be better. But no. Instead, you guys made this video like trying to just cover your bases and cover your asses. And all you had to do from the beginning was stand in front of it and say we did the wrong thing. Now I gotta respond to this. So you went off the cuff in you guys' very edited, very produced video. I'm gonna go actually off the cuff. I do have a list of bullet points and my notes on your video that I'll be using to help stay on topic here. I want to start by saying I loved working at Wyrmwood. I did. I loved it so much. Like it was such a great job to me. And it was like way more than a job. Like I found a product I liked making. I thought it was cool. I liked trying to help design things. All that kind of stuff. I liked working with wood. It was sweet. It's a cool job to have. I really liked being part of the D&D community on that level. I worked in a place where we were talking about my favorite game in the world every single day. Like what else would I want? You don't get that everywhere. And I thought I had found such true friends that I thought I was forming a family in there. And I thought I found a career, one that I could stick with for the rest of my life and feel happy and proud to say that was my job. And you took that all away from me because I tried to do the right thing, and I tried to do it the right way. So these claims that I didn't they're just ridiculous. I did. I absolutely tried to do it the right way. The fact is, I was pulled into the situation. All right. From day one, when the victim told me about the situation, they told me they did not want to come forward. They told me they did not want to confront employee A. I'll use the terminologies that were used in the Wyrmwood official release to refer to everybody. I'm not sure who employee C is. I wasn't aware a third person ever came forward. I'm interested to know how they found out, because I only spoke with 3 people, and I know that the 3 people I spoke with found out because of employee A and employee D. Because employee A and employee D were fighting about it vocally at one point in the break room, when there was a confrontation on Monday the 6th, which multiple people came to tell me about. And then, with casting angry glances at each other and with talking behind each other's backs, I wanted nothing to do with that, because I wasn't trying to let the victim's story out. I cared about protecting their wishes. They didn't want people talking about it. They didn't want people to know. They wanted me to maintain silence for as long as I worked there, and just try to have a good work experience, and just try to avoid employee A. And that's what I did. I did that as often as I could. And it was once employee A noticed that I was avoiding them that the problem started. So I was never trying to confront them about it, because that was not the victim's wishes. And I was always trying to respect their wishes on the situation. So let's get into the video. I just want to say off the bat, the way you guys started it, explaining the way you explained it to your business partners, and treating that explanation like it was a reasonable reaction. I'm just trying to let you guys know that wasn't the right way to handle it. That was a PR way to handle it. That wasn't the right way to handle it, right? And that's why I reacted. That's why I posted my original Twitter post, the video. That's why I posted my video, was because you guys lied to them. All right, you said nothing like that had ever happened, and that nobody that worked there could recall anything of the sort ever occurring. And that's just untrue. Okay? Plenty of you remembered it. You now have an official report about it. So you lied to your business partners. And that's not ethical. That's why I called you out. You claimed that I didn't go to management, and you specifically said that I didn't talk to my direct supervisor. That is a lie. On the morning of January the 8th, before I spoke with Gates, after messaging him, I approached Carl to tell Carl I wasn't comfortable working near employee A. I wasn't comfortable with explaining why, but I did have a meeting with Gates to talk to Gates about it later in the day. So I was able to meet with my direct supervisor, give them information about the hostile work environment situation I was experiencing, not give them unnecessary details that I was reserving for upper management. All right. Now, as far as Gates being the person that was gone to, that's because employee D advised me to go to Gates. I thought Gates was the HR manager. Actually, from day one, I thought Gates was the HR manager. I had no idea Ed was. I had no clue. That's how dysfunctional the HR department was at the time I was working there, is that I didn't even know who actually ran it. So I was told to go to Gates, so I went to Gates. But I did go to my direct supervisor first, and I told them there's something I'm uncomfortable with, and I'm going to go talk to somebody above you to get it handled properly. So, saying that I was trying to handle it wrong, That's aspersions on my character, right? Like that's you guys implying that I was unprofessional in the situation, and that's untrue. I tried my damnedest to be a professional, but employee A and employee D kept instigating issues with each other, and people kept coming to me about it. And I was in a hostile environment, and I tried to report it, and you guys fired me for that. And I gave you all the details. But anyways, so moving on. You claim I had complaints for toxic behavior against me. The only disciplinary meeting I ever had when I was there was the one when like a half dozen of us got a talking to about the fact that we were smoking too much. So you're telling me going out and smoking with my half dozen friends was me being toxic? What was so toxic about me? Was it how I'd help people finish runs? Was it how I would invite people in to work on my personal projects with me so that, they'd feel more inspired and more included? Was it constantly worrying about whether the quality of my work was impressive enough, not just good enough, but impressive enough, because I was so eager to move up in the company and to become a designer? What was toxic, guys? That's just mean. That's just insulting. Employee D. So when we went over everything in the video, and then when I read the report, it became evident to me who employee D is. Employee D absolutely was aware of, at the very least, the accusation that had occurred in the building. I know that because employee D and the victim had an argument about that fact at the Christmas party. Like, what, dude? Did you think I just forgot? Did you think I didn't remember? So employee D had a close personal relationship with the victim and didn't believe the victim's claims for months. Months and months didn't believe them. But employee D is going to go ahead and pretend that they didn't know. You knew, man. You knew. I know you knew. I was there when you were told half the times. Anyways, I just want to say, just in response to the whole the HR response in this video, guys, this is not the kind of thing to tie your names to. That was not accurate information. Maybe, like, I don't know. I know it's a weird concept in this whole situation because you guys are so pissed at me, but you maybe should have contacted me and been like, hey man, what do you know that we don't? Like, can we get you to take that down? By finding out what you know and posting an apology video. Like, can we do that? Like, can you help us compile this HR document so that this is properly documented now? But instead, you guys just wrote out this thing where you basically shit talk me the whole time and just say like, no, he was causing a problem too. Okay, sure, yeah. Because my official timeline doesn't match that. And the thing is, my official timeline was written and published 3 years and a month before yours was. But we'll get to that. Doug, you claim you didn't know. The thing is, My firing took place behind the building, where there might have been a security camera on us, but it probably didn't have audio. And you didn't bring any other member of management out with you, and there was no other employees present. It was just you and I. That is not the appropriate way to fire somebody. That in itself is bad HR procedure. You did that wrong. But that creates the problem of the conversation that you and I had is now he said. So, I can say that I threw it in your face out of spite because I was so pissed that you were firing me for coming forward with the claims. I threw it in your face that it happened in your media room and just asked, are you okay with that? And you told me that if there was no charges filed, then it wasn't a real situation, and I shouldn't have brought information about it forward. That's victim silencing. All right, that's silencing victims. And the thing is, I was bringing it forward because I was dealing with a hostile work environment situation, not because I was trying to get the guy thrown in jail or something, because that's not what the victim wanted. But you just went nuclear. Like, that's a good thing. Like, that's at all reasonable. But yeah, I threw it in your face. So I guess you don't remember that. Fine, you don't remember that. I do remember that. Because I also remember what you told me after, which was, if I've got a problem with it, I can call Frank. And then you offered me his card. Like it was funny. Yeah. And that you did in the middle of the shop. That you did when we came back inside. So, people saw that happen. People can claim they didn't, but I was there. And I'm pretty sure everybody remembers how I was acting too, because I was having a full-blown panic attack over it. I was screaming and crying. I shouted so many things. I was so upset. And yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody that was there that day remembers, because that was a pretty big freak out. And I know that doesn't make me look great, but I had just lost what was the most important job to me I had ever found. I was devastated. Devastated. And that lasted for 1.5 years after that. Like you really did some hurtful shit with that. It was really fucked up. Anyways. Oh, I want to point out the absolutely glaring inconsistency in the video you posted. You claimed I didn't go to management, and then literally 2 scenes later in your video, you're talking to Gates about the conversation I had with him. Okay, well, maybe Gates should check his DMs. I'm opening it up now because I DM'd him in Discord on January the 8th, 2020 at 9:21 a.m. And I'm just going to read it off because I'm going to add context for how I was trying to handle this. At 9:21 a.m. on January the 8th, 2020, I messaged, "Hey, I was wondering if I could address something privately with you. Are you in today?" Gates responded, I'm not going to go too deep into it because I don't want to talk about various practices of the company, but just for, production related stuff. He said, yes, could meet after the task he was doing. I said, I'm working in this section of the building right now, so after the task you're doing would be great. He said, awesome. They usually take me about they usually get to me about 10:15 to 10:20 and take less than 10 minutes. So 10:30 or so should be good. I responded at 9:38 a.m. It's a plan. I'll meet you at the con area then. So there's documentation of the meeting that I set up with management to discuss this. You can go check that, Gates. I already screenshotted it. If you guys try to like block me so I can't see it or something like that, I don't know. So that's there, right? The con area. That's where we went to meet. Why did I go to the con area? For people who don't know, the con area is a storage area, or was a storage area, deep in the recesses of the Wyrmwood shops that it basically was never accessed. You know, it was so deep back there and had stuff that people didn't really need to use all that often. So it's a private area to have a private conversation, because if I'm bringing forward such information, we need to make sure we can have a place we're not going to be interrupted. And that's what I was doing. Why would I have scheduled a meeting with upper management after telling my direct supervisor I had scheduled a meeting with upper management to discuss serious allegations and not bring all the facts with me? Why would I have not given Gates all the facts in that conversation? I had all the facts. I was one of the few people with all of the facts. So I don't know how you don't remember any of it. Probably should have been writing it down. That is a job of management, especially in the event of a protected conversation. So regardless, here we are with that. The Christmas party. The Christmas party. You referenced the Christmas party in the video. And the Christmas, you referencing that told me you knew exactly what I was talking about. Or at least you had some idea, right? Because the thing about the Christmas party is that the way it was referenced in the video wasn't really very accurate and applicable, right? It made it out to be that was when an event of abuse had occurred. That was when the events of work hostility had begun. So how did you recall the Christmas party having relevance? All right. So it might be that you just remembered the Christmas party had some relevance and you don't really remember why. Okay, fine. But it was because I reported the whole thing. It was because I gave every bit of information from the beginning about how it all went down, right? Or it's because you read the email that I sent to Doug's email address on January 13th of 2020. I did not get a bounce back. It did not send. It landed in your email, and I've checked the record, and it does show that it did actually deliver in 0 seconds. So it got there. I know it got there. So did you read the email, Doug, or did you just delete it, not wanting to take me seriously on any level? I still have the email. I've read the email every couple of months for the past few years because it still breaks my heart. Anytime I remember it and notice it's there, and I look through it, and I remember that I sent you that, and you just didn't respond at all. Well, I still have the email, and I can forward it to you guys to show you that I sent that to you, so you can update your HR document and have it be a little more accurate with the actual timeline of events. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and read the email, because you guys wanted to make me look bad. I wanted to make it look like you did absolutely nothing wrong to me and to the victim. So I will state I am going to be using the Wyrmwood HR report titles for everybody listed in the email. I will also be correcting some typos in it. The day of the week is written correctly, but the date of the month ends up repeating itself once and throwing it off. So I will just be reading through this pretty much as is. So sent to Doug's email at 11:52 a.m. on January the 13th, 2020. Subject: my termination, mailed by Gmail. Doug, nothing about this feels right. I am deeply hurt and disappointed in how this went down. The fact of the matter is, if I was being fired for creating shop drama, then that is entirely inaccurate. I was aware of the situation before I ever even started at Wyrmwood, and I kept my mouth shut. I approached everything as if I was unaware and treated them in a friendly manner. Employee A approached me at the Christmas party to discuss why my friend wouldn't speak with him. He harassed me, at one point literally holding a knife in his hand, until I would answer him. I will express it was not in an overtly threatening way, yet I felt threatened in the situation. I finally answered him, and he was not happy with my response. On Friday the 3rd, he approached me about it again, trying to convince me it wasn't true, and expressing how legal action could affect his alternative career. I told him the victim didn't want to press charges. The victim simply wanted nothing to do with him. Employee D approached me after and asked about it, as he was already aware of the situation but didn't believe it until he saw how Employee A was acting. On Monday the 6th, Employee D approached another employee to warn them against pursuing a romantic relationship with Employee A. Employee A overheard this and began going around to multiple people in the shop to tell them what was going on and how he felt about it. This caused Employee D to become incredibly angry, and he planned to speak with you about it, but elected to speak with Gates instead. On Tuesday the 7th, I was approached by multiple people who were informing me of the things Employee A was saying to them. I was becoming uncomfortable having to deal with this situation over and over. So when Employee D spoke to Gates that day, I gave him my full support because this was becoming a hostile work environment for me. That night, I was given every detail regarding the situation. After learning 100% of the facts, I could not feel comfortable working with or next to him. So I knew I had to make some level of effort myself. On Wednesday the 7th, I approached Carl, my direct supervisor, and I told him I was not comfortable and would rather not explain why, to avoid spreading drama, and that I intended to speak with Gates about it. I had been under the impression since my first day that Gates was our HR manager. I have only found out today that this was in fact supposed to be Ed. I spoke to Gates, gave him the details I felt were pertinent to the situation, and explained no one was seeking any further action than Employee A being off of the section of the company he was working for to protect the company's reputation, and to not have to work directly with him. I was not seeking his firing, only for my job to feel safe again. When it comes down to the facts, I was not spreading drama. I was pulled into it by him. I avoided this situation as hard as I could until it was affecting my work, and then I attempted to go through what I had been told were the appropriate channels. The fact that Wyrmwood's HR department is not clearly defined or operated and is dysfunctional at best is not my fault. Then, in bold lettering, I was fired in direct response to reporting knowledge of an assault which happened on company property. End bold. I'm not honestly concerned with what shop policy is in this situation, especially because I was not the one who broke it, and I genuinely don't feel that it is appropriate to label a serious matter such as this as drama. To be honest, this is the first job I've ever had where I could see a future for myself. To be fired for trying to do the right thing through what I had been told were the appropriate channels has hurt me deeper than I can describe. Andy. So that's the email. I sent that January 13th, 2020. I can forward it back over to you guys if you want. I'm really disappointed by this whole thing. It's not like I'm getting some kind of sick thrill out of this. And everybody should understand that I have literally nothing to gain from this. I'm too late. I'm a year late to sue for wrongful termination. So that's that. I don't get anything out of this. And I know I don't have any. I brought up the IP thing because I thought it was shady and unfair that you guys didn't hook me up on some level about that. Because it was my idea, and I prototyped it. I've got the prototypes in my house. Well, you might not know that, but I mean, I have the prototypes in my house. There were tons of pictures of me all around the shop with them. A bunch of people were asking me for them. It was the thing I was like halfway known for in the shop, was the fact that I was making those hex trays in winter 2019, like late 2019. Like that was my thing, and you guys made a shitload of money off of that, and it was my idea, and you told me it probably would never even go into production. You said no, we probably won't do that, and then you did it like a year and a half later. And I tried to hit you up about hey, can you guys hook me up with anything for that? Like, my life kind of sucks. Like, maybe some of the cash that you promised me, if this design goes into production, you'll get 10%. And then I was fired, so I'm not entitled to anything. And that just sucks, because I made that thing. It was my baby. So I know you guys have a legal right to that and everything, but it's not chill. We both know it's, or we all, I should say, know it's not chill. I guess regarding the later parts of the tweet video, when I was saying the things about Wyrmwood's product quality, that is not to say that the craftsmen or the designers do a bad job. That it was literally just me saying it should cost less. Should cost less. That's it. I worked there. Should cost less. Or you guys should just supply people with cheaper options. Really, that's just. And then, I do want to say, to the designers and craftsmen there, you guys do a good job. You do. Everybody knows Wyrmwood products. Everybody does. But the way the company is run is a problem. And you guys need to work on that. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I will confirm the victim still does not want to come forward. So, you guys bandying about the whole, well, I guess we have to get the police involved thing now. That's not your story to tell, and it's not your charges to press. I'm pretty sure that's probably what they told you too. You could just simply state you fired the employee for having sexual relations on company property. The rest of the charges there's no charges. That's the thing. But you guys don't know how to handle these things. Yeah, and so similarly, their story is not my story to tell, and I'm not going to try to do that here. So for the journalists who were hitting me up to get their story, that's not really chill. I thought you guys were hitting me up to help my story, not to prey on their story. Just being honest with you here. So yeah, I guess that's everything. This week sucked for me. I didn't enjoy this at all. This wasn't fun. This is not any reason I would have ever wanted to have gone viral. But just like in 2020, when I feel like I got to do the right thing, I got to do the right thing. I've done nothing but tell the truth here. And I've got the documentation to back it up. So, I don't know. I'm really disappointed by all this. I'm really disappointed by what happened back then. You guys just need to admit your wrongs and move forward better. A classy move would be a donation to Rain. Just heads up, that should have been in your video, that you were like, oh, you know what, we got a 50 grand to Rain right now, like something like that, guys. Like, like, do the right thing. Yeah, that's everything.